Good morning, Marysville. I'm your host, Tyler Norman, and today we have a 4-year letterman in golf, Tynan Vincent. So, Tynan, how's the season going so far?
I think so far that the season's going pretty well. I feel like I'm getting a lot of my goals accomplished that I set in the beginning of the year. Obviously, with a game like golf, there's going to be a lot of failure involved, but you kind of just take it as it comes, and then you can kind of step back at the end of the season and assess your goals and see how you did.
So, what made you want to be a part of golf? I know golf isn't a thing, isn't a school sport until you get into high school. So, what brought you to golf?
I think what kind of got me into golf was, obviously growing up, I played it a little bit more than most kids, I guess. But I think with my dad being a coach or a past coach of high school golf and a golfer himself, it kind of inspired me to play a little more. And at the time, coming into high school, I was playing a lot of baseball.
Yeah.
And I think that once I started playing golf in the summers and things like that, and I realized that I liked golf a lot more than baseball, even though baseball was really great. It was fun. It had a lot of memories with it. But kind of when I got to high school, I found the passion for golf and kind of wanted to expand it.
All right, so being that golf isn't like every other sport in high school, how does the season work? How does the layout of the season? I know you guys go to tournaments, you guys have some matches against other West Coast teams. Just like, how's the kind of layout for it?
It's a great question. So basically the way the season works is you get 12 matches that you're allowed to play in. Generally you have around, I would say, 10 league matches where you would play teams in your league, like the West Coast North. So for us, we'd play Everett, Stanwood, Marysville, Pilchuck, and Arlington. And you have those matches, and then what you do is you go to the tournaments and you play 6 guys, you get their scores, and then you're allowed to drop one score, and then once you drop that score, you get your total numbers, and then whoever wins the match gets a certain amount of league points, and then it goes to your points system. And then it's the same thing with individual. So you also score individually, and it goes towards your individual ranking in the WESCO. And so with that, then you get the chance to move on if you have enough points and things like that.
So let's start talking about your freshman year. And so you're coming into a new school, new environment, and then you start your golf season. What was it like coming in as a freshman? Because I know there is only one golf team. You're either on varsity or you're just not on the team at all.
Right. Wow. Yeah. Coming into my freshman year and playing golf, kind of my first year of competitive golf was a real eye-opener for me. It was a little nerve-wracking being a younger guy. We had some pretty good talent that first year too, if I can remember correctly. We had guys like David Fugate and a kid named Andy. He was pretty good. And so I think trying to find the spot where I fit on that team and stuff like that, and just kind of getting used to the ropes and things like that, because it was just it was a lot of new stuff, and it was a lot of learning rules and getting the atmosphere of matches and things like that, trying to comprehend, I guess, the seriousness of it all too.
What was some of your goals as a freshman coming in? Because coming in as a freshman, I know I'm a varsity athlete also, that you don't know what to expect. So what did you expect out of yourself in that first year?
My freshman year, I kind of went out and played my first 2 rounds, and I think for 9 holes I was shooting somewhere around 47, and so I was telling myself, I think the whole season I was just telling myself, if you can just beat 47, and then I think one day I got to 45. I said, now we're going to beat 45, and just kind of improve from there. But as far as like state goals and invitational tournaments that you would get invited to, I had no goals set towards those, because I really didn't know too much to expect from the season. But I think that also a goal that I set my freshman year was to just stay on the varsity team. Just make sure you stay on the team and you play well.
So when did you start thinking like, oh, I can do this, I can be in these invitationals and I can make it to these state playoffs, and when did you kind of realize that you were good enough to do that?
I think I noticed that late in my freshman year. Like I mentioned earlier, a kid on the team, his name was David Fugate, And I think he came up to me one day at practice and he told me, he said, you know, Tynan, he goes, you're learning really quickly. He goes, I can see that you're athletic, so I mean you got a good swing. You got all the fundamentals down, and you want to learn, and you want to become a student of the game. And I think that once I started doing that and realizing that in myself and having a little bit more self-confidence, I noticed that I was shooting scores that were equivalent to a couple seniors and a couple juniors, and playing with the upperclassmen, I kind of noticed that, you know, with a little practice, I think that I can get there.
Do you think a guy like David could have a positive impact on other freshmen? Like, how do you think the senior role can have an impact on the freshmen and their four-year career here?
I think, to put it in perspective, what David did for me was really cool. He kind of took me under his wing. He showed me that it's okay to fail. This game's full of it and things like that. And I think that the senior role that they have on the underclassmen is really key, because they look up to you, because, you know, whereas they haven't been there before.
They don't know what to expect.
Exactly, they haven't been there before, so they kind of are like, you know, they kind of look to you and say, you know, what do we do here? What's the atmosphere going to be like? Or even little things. I mean, we get to the course, and, you know, every time we have freshmen ask me, you know, Tynan, how do the greens roll here? Which way is it going to break? Which way are we going to, you know, where do I want to be off the tee, and things like that. And so I think that seniors can really help the underclassmen.
Yeah, so being that David was kind of like the senior that took you under his wing, have you taken anyone under your wing this year? Any specific guys that you really helped out, really helped them with their game?
Yeah, well, I'd like to think that I've helped a lot of guys, and I hope that I have.
Yeah.
We have a freshman on the team this year. His name's Bernard. And he reminds me a lot of myself. He had not played a lot of competitive golf coming into this year, but he kind of came in, and I can tell that he really wants to learn. He really wants to practice. I can tell he's always out there on the practice greens and things like that. I mean, what made me remind him of me was, I think I was getting ready to pack up one day and go home after practice, and he was still out there. And so, you know, I got to tell myself, you know, I can't let him be the last one out here, but that was me. I mean, that was me saying I am going to be the last one out here before all these seniors and all that stuff.
So being that you're talking about how competitive it is going from middle school to high school, like just not playing competitive golf, how competitive do people really get in this sport? Like in Wesco, like how competitive does it get? Is there some close matches here in Wesco?
I think that it depends on the day. Golf's a weird game, so, you know, there's days where some guys will just be playing out of their minds. They're playing just absolutely great golf, and then there's the guys who struggle a bit, and then, I mean, there's days where they flop, and there's a lot of different things. But I think, yeah, we've had a couple close matches. Definitely, when you get into high school, it's a lot more of it gets serious. It's taken more seriously. It's not just we're out here to have fun, which is great. I mean, you should have a lot of fun when you play this game and stuff like that. But it definitely I guess the level of seriousness kind of raises.
So being that you are playing for your individual score, how does it work as a team? Do you beat, like, as a team, can you beat another team, or is it all the scores added up? Like
So how it works is we will get to the course, and you're assigned your number, which is you're ranked on your team 1 through 6.
Okay.
And the other teams have their guys ranked 1 through 6. And so since I'm the 1, I would get paired with the Everett 1, the Stanwood 1, and the Pilchuck 1, and the Arlington
Whoever
1.
else is the one on the other teams.
And we go out and play in a group.
Okay.
And so when we go out, we play in our group, we get our score, our individual score, and we bring it in, we turn in our cards. The coaches will add them up, just double check them, and then they'll put them on a board, and then that works all the way down through 6. The 2s play together, the 3s play together, and then they get their scores. You total them all up, and then you get to drop a score. So say you get a really high score that you don't want to add to your total, you would drop that score so it doesn't count. So you keep 5 scores, and then you add them up, and then whoever at the end of the day has the lowest score is the winner of the match.
Okay, so how is MG's golf program doing? Like, how have you, over the years, being that you were a freshman, you've played all 4 years, you've been here all 4 years, how has the program improved over the years?
I think the biggest, I guess, stride that we've made, I think, is we play for each other. I think my freshman year, not a lot of us knew each other. It was a new school, and so guys were kind of like, I'm just going to go play, and we didn't really connect on that social level. I guess,
Yeah.
outside of the course. But I think we're also improving, I guess, in the terms, I mean, obviously financially, I think fundraising, we've done a great job. I think that we're doing a good job just kind of molding as a team and just playing for one another and knowing that when we're out on the course, we can't give up because, this is for our guys, we got to play.
Yeah.
And definitely I think that another big stride that we've made is playing for this school in general.
Yeah.
I think when our team understands that when you put on that Getchell polo, you're representing everything that we have up here and everything that we want to represent.
Okay. So we're going to take a quick short break here. We're going to go to a segment that we here at Charger Chat made for you, and we'll be right back.
All right.
How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to give you a couple tips and tricks on how to stay awake during school so you can not fall asleep and get your grades up, because I'd be falling asleep too. Let's go. Here's your first example. The slaps. See, what that's going to help you do is it's going to keep you bright and early for class. So let's move on to the next step. Here's example number 2. Cold beverage can help you stay awake every morning, so let's keep it going. So here's example number 3, the screen. Fire! It's always effective, as you can see. Let's move on to the next step. So example number 5, get ready to cover your ears, guys, because we're doing the car horn. Alright guys, so hopefully those 5 examples can help you stay awake in class and hopefully, like I said, not fall asleep. So good luck, guys, and that was 5 tips on how not to fall asleep.
Welcome back, Charger Chat. I'm your host, Tyler Norman, and this is our guest, our four-year golf letterman, Tynan Vincent. So, Tynan, we just got done talking about where you've been, like, throughout your freshman year. What was it sophomore year that you wanted to change about your game, and how much did you want to improve, and where did you want to end your sophomore year at?
I think sophomore year I saw the biggest difference, and by that I mean like my improvements. And I think right when I ended freshman year, I decided that this is a game that, yes, it was good to have fun in, but I kind of want to take it more seriously, and I really want to excel in it. And so I remember I think every day, just about since my freshman year, going out on days I didn't have other sports, I'd go out to the golf course and I'd just be practicing. I'd be hitting ball after ball at the range and things like that. And going into my sophomore year, I had high expectations for myself. I knew where my game was at. I knew that I was improving, and I knew what I was capable of. And so for that, I set some high goals. I told myself that obviously make sure you letter again. That's going to be a big one. And then I think the goal for me was just get to districts.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest goal for me.
Did you accomplish that goal?
I did.
You end up making it?
I did. Made it through leagues. I kind of struggled a little bit, but I think throughout the season, it was probably the most consistent year that to this day I think that I've played. It was wire to wire. I just played very well.
So talking about districts, where did your season leave off sophomore year? Like, where was it? Like, did you lose in districts? Did you make it past districts? How far did you actually go?
So sophomore year, my season did end at districts. Sadly, it was a bit of a disappointing last round for me. I think it was the first time that I had played in a really serious tournament.
Okay.
Like, I knew something was on the line when I teed it up, and I think the lack of experience definitely showed.
Okay.
But I mean, it was okay because it was a great learning experience. It really was. I learned a lot from it. I learned that you got to go out there and you just got to play with reckless abandon. You can't fear anything. You got to just go after stuff and play your game.
So being that it was a struggling last round, and that's how your season ended, and obviously that's not how you wanted to end. How does that motivate you for the next season? How does that make you? I mean, like, some people that brings you down, some people it brings you up. What was your feelings after that?
I think the second that I got done with that round, I think I turned in my card, and this was at the Legion Golf Club, and they have a big putting green out practice putting green out near the first tee, and I think I turned in my card and went directly to that putting green and started working. I mean, literally couldn't have been a minute later. And I felt, I did feel disappointed in myself, but at the same time I knew that I had to get to work right away.
Yeah.
And I thought that coming into my sophomore year, I thought, your expectations aren't going to be any higher than what you set them, and I was really wrong. I think in that time that I was putting on that green there, I was already setting goals for myself and saying, you know, don't have this feeling again.
Yeah.
You know, just make sure that you get to where you want, and you can, because this last year showed that if you work hard, you'll get to where you want. And so I think that starting right then, I was even more motivated going into my junior year than I was going into my sophomore year.
Yeah, so being that you are going into your junior year, you got a couple seasons left. You can kind of see the finish line. It's getting a little scary there. What are the realistic goals that juniors should have for themselves in this sport? Should they shoot for state junior year? Should that be a goal that you would have for yourself?
I think
a realistic one.
I think it depends on who you are and where you're at as a golfer. It's a really, I mean, it's a complex game. It's tough, and there's times where you'll struggle, most definitely. And so I think goals, I mean, you can set goals in the beginning of the season that you can work towards, but I think a lot of the time during the season, some goals need to be set along the way, and just say, you know, today I got to do this.
Okay.
And so I think if you're playing since your freshman year, to answer your question, I think maybe by your junior year you should probably be shooting for state, probably be getting around there. So I think, right around then, you kind of can decide whether or not that's for you or not.
So as a junior, who is someone that you would play against that was always neck and neck with you, biggest competition, guy to beat all the time?
Guy to beat all the time was a guy named Tynan Davis. And he played at Stanwood.
Okay.
Stanwood has a great golf program. They're very good. A lot of their players are just phenomenal golfers. But I think me and Halen, I mean, we'd trade off.
Okay.
I mean, he'd come out and fire a really good round, and then I'd have to come back the next week. And he plays at Skagit Valley College now.
Okay.
And so he's a college golfer, but definitely was a friendly thing though.
Yeah.
Nothing like, we were at each other's throats or anything like that. It was fun.
Friendly West Coast competition.
Right. It was fun. It was but yeah, I think Tynan Davis was kind of the nemesis, I guess you could say. I kind of aspired to play as well as him or better, I think, coming to matches.
So we're going to go to a quick short video of some of the shots that Tynan had at his very last match down at Cedar Crest Golf Course, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, Marysville. I'm your host, Tyler Norman, and with us is four-time varsity leader in golf, Tynan Vincent. So Tynan, I know you brought your clubs here today. You wanted to show us a little trick you picked up along the years, and I'm going to see if I can actually beat you at it.
Okay.
All right.
So basically what it is it's like juggling a soccer ball, but with a golf club. So I guess we just kind of drop the ball, and we'll try and keep it going with the golf club.
How many times do you think you could do this in a row, realistically?
Realistically, I think maybe, I don't know, 30 times.
30 times
But I
in a
think when I got really bored last summer, I got about to 100 something.
All right, so I'm going to start us off, and then we'll have you take it right after. And okay, which club do you want me to take?
You can take the orange one there.
And I couldn't get one.
It's tough,
so
though.
I can
tough.
get one.
It's a lot of hand-eye.
I got 0. Let's see how many you can get.
It's tough. It's a lot of hand-eye coordination, for sure. But
So basically, what makes you want to, like, what got you doing this? Like, why is this
I
such
think when I was younger, I saw a Tiger Woods commercial and he was doing this, and it kind of
what's the most you've ever gotten on this?
I think maybe about 100 something.
100
but
something?
Obviously, I had to be really bored, and I kind of just kept going with it.
Can't go between the legs, anything special?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So.
All right, well, so I lost. I'm not good at that. So let's start talking about your senior year. This is it. Your last time you're gonna do this. Last year matches. What's your overall goals? Like, what do you really want to get out of this final year?
I think the goals that I set for myself this year was nothing less than state. I think that's where I want to go, and I want to place well in state. I hope to, in the beginning of the year, I told myself I want to play in certain invitational tournaments, but I think the biggest goal for me was state.
Okay, so where are you at right now with golf? Are you where you want to be, or where do you see the season going so far?
I think this year for me has been up and down, but I mean that's kind of like any other golf season. There's days you're going to play well, and there's days you're going to play not so well. And I think that as of right now, I'm kind of turning the corner.
Okay.
I'd like to think so. I mean, I'm hoping that I'm peaking at the right time and playing my best golf coming into the playoffs, because this next Monday we have our league championships.
Okay.
The top 70% of them that will go on. They'll go on to districts. Then you play the first day of districts. If you make that cut, you move on to the second day. And then if you're the top 17 golfers in Wesco, you'll go to the state championship.
So, do you think that you could potentially win a state championship? Do you think you are good enough to do that?
I think so. I think that my confidence is high.
Okay.
If I'm hitting good golf shots and I'm staying focused, I think most definitely.
What do you think a state playoff or a state title would mean for the school, for you, for this whole city? What do you think it would mean to everybody?
I think for me, it would be probably like a dream come true for me.
Yeah.
I think that's the highest goal that you can set for yourself at this age and playing high school golf. And I think that for the school, it'd be great. I think that we, put a little more hardware in the trophy case and things like that. I feel like, wow, I mean, for this town, what
a better time.
Right, I'd love to say that I'm from Marysville at that time. With everything that we've gone through this year and things like that, I think that it'd be great to just go and play for your town, and dedicate rounds to your town and things like that. So,
after high school, so this season is going to come to a quick end. What are your plans? Because I know you've been accepted into some colleges. Why don't you go ahead and tell everyone some of the colleges you've gotten into? Are you going to play golf there, and what do you expect out of that?
So, currently I've contacted Skagit Valley College, which is where I mentioned earlier Halen's played. I'm waiting for something back on them. I'll be attending Wenatchee Valley College.
Okay.
And continuing to play golf.
Okay.
Hopefully I'm in the hopes that I'll be able to get into, at that point, after those 2 years, into a four-year university such as a Wazoo or UW or anything like that, if I play well and things like that. And if not, I'm hoping at that point to trying to get into a qualifying school, which will qualify me to go on to the PGA Tour and play professional golf.
Is that something that you've always wanted to do? When did you think, like, hey, I really want to do this for a while?
If you would have asked me my first day freshman year, do you want to become a professional golfer? I wouldn't have even thought of it. I think that right around, I think somewhere right around the end of my sophomore year, going into junior year, I think that I was thinking, this would be something really fun to play. And that towards the end of my freshman year, I started watching more golf, and I think that's how I got into it, was seeing those guys on TV and going, wow, that looks fun to go to those tournaments, play these courses and these certain holes and things like that. I think the moment, though, that I really decided that I wanted to become a professional golfer, that was something I wanted to aspire to and try to achieve, was probably around late my sophomore year. In the spring, I think I was watching the Masters tournament. I think, and I was like, man, how cool would that be just to
be
play
a part
that
of
course,
that, yeah.
and just and have a chance at a green jacket and things like that.
Yeah. So who, out of the pros, who's some of your favorite golfers that you really like and that you like to wear their stuff and play their kind of game? Who are your favorites?
First of all, I'd love to play their game, but
Yeah.
there's a reason they're on TV and I'm not yet. But I think a lot of the golfers that I like to watch, I like to watch Ricky Fowler. He's a bright, colorful kid. You know, he's plays with a lot of I would say aggressiveness. I mean, he goes after a lot of things. I like the way he plays. He's exciting to watch. You know, I like Adam Scott. Adam Scott's got just a picture-perfect swing. I mean, it's like a robot. And he's got all the mechanics, and he's winning and things like that. I like Freddie Couples. He's an older guy. He plays on the senior tour now, but I think he's got a smooth swing, and I think that if you could take the approach to golf like he does, where it's just, you know, relax and play the way you're going to play, because at the end of the day, it's, you know, you're going to play how you're going to play.
Yeah.
And so I think if I was to take a lot of those things, like if I could take, you know, I guess Ricky's aggressiveness with, you know, maybe the focus of Tiger Woods and the craftsmanship of like a Phil Mickelson, and put them into one.
You really master your craft.
Yeah, I think whoever could do that would just be phenomenal.
Yeah.
And so try to incorporate pieces of their game into mine as well as I can.
Yeah.
Obviously, they've practiced a bit more and they have a little bit more talent, but it not necessarily doesn't mean I can't get there.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to take one more quick short break, and we'll be right back.
Hit the books? All right.
Tristan, what are you doing?
You said hit the books.
Not that way.
What?
Hit the books by learning stuff.
Okay.
You should try it sometime.
So we're done reading this book. That was pretty cool. Now let's go to the next book for history. Defection 2. This looks so boring and gross.
Tristan, hasn't your mom ever told you never judge a book by its cover?
No?
I'm gonna pee like a racehorse. Okay, Tristan, go break a leg.
Alright, Sierra, break my leg.
Welcome back, Marysville. I'm your host, Tyler Norman, and with us, four-year golf letterman Tynan Vincent. So, Tynan, being that you've come a long way. You started your freshman year, and you're all the way now to your senior year. Is there anyone out there that you'd like to thank for getting you to where you're at and keeping you on top of things?
I'd definitely like to, first of all, thank God for what He's given me. I think that a lot of the success part and stuff, things go like that. I'd love to thank my parents. I think that their love and support goes beyond anything I've ever seen. I think that they care for me a lot, and they make sure that whatever I've wanted, I've gotten, and what I've needed, I've gotten. And I think that whenever they see me have a passion or something I want to do, they're the first ones to support me on it, and they're the first ones to say, go for it, and chase your dreams, and however we can help, we'll do that. And so I'd love to thank my mom and my dad.
Well, all of us here at MG would like to wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season. We hope you do end up making your goals and bringing home a state title. But thank you for being here today and telling your story.
Thank you.